If you're in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area and need something great and fun to do, why not stop in to Pinball PA? Located in Aliquippa, just 10 minutes from the Pittsburgh airport, there's over 420 games on the floor, 200 some pinball machines, 200 some of your favorite video games. That's Donkey Kong, Asteroid, Space Invaders. You name it, it's there. So check it out, Pinball PA. Go online and see what all is going on there at pinballpa.com. Once again, pinballpa.com. Pinball PA, it's where the action is.
Siren right here on your classic metal show with Sister Whiskey. No, that's not Skid Row. That's actually Pin Siren.
Like it.
Probably one of the best bands that was on the Kibble record label.
No, probably about that. That was the best band that was on the Kibble record label.
They should have had a bigger career. I mean, obviously, Skid Row had that sound. Pin Siren had that sound. What's the other band that had Spread Eagle? They had that sound. They're all from the East Coast. They're all from that New Jersey area, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird that there were 3 bands that came out of that area, and they all sounded very similar.
Yeah, but they did. Good stuff. I loved Pin Siren, man. That Slave to Your Master record, that's as good a record as came out in the 2000s.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in my opinion, and I know I'll get some backlash for saying this, but in my opinion, it was just as good as Slave to the Grind.
Yeah, it's a damn good record. I don't know that I would go quite that far, but
well, I went that far, God damn it. That's my opinion.
That Hung Like Jesus tune, that's my jam. I still listen to that Pin Siren record probably 2-3 times a year.
Yeah. Well, God damn it, you just said their name, the Switchblade Serenade.
Spread Eagle.
Yeah, Spread Eagle. I love that record too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, so I don't know. They just had that. I don't know what you want to call it. I mean, obviously Skid Row was the one that broke out with the big hits and got pretty well known, but Spread Eagle and Pin Siren both equally as good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. They were. I'll tell you what. Anything but Slave to the Grind, I would say the Pin Siren record is better than in the Skid Row catalog.
Sure,
because I'm not a huge fan of the debut, and certainly it's better than whatever Beat Yourself Blind, whatever what's that called? Subhuman Race,
yeah. Had Frozen on it and all that shit.
It's a good album, but it ain't as good as Pin Siren. So
yeah, well, that was on the downswing of the 80s.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. This chick I was dating at the time, when I Remember You and all that shit came out with the debut release. We went to Aerosmith, and they were opening up for Aerosmith on the what was it, the Pump tour? I think it might have been Pump. And to be honest with you, I wasn't that impressed
with Skid Row or with
with Skid Row.
Okay.
I thought they were okay, but I didn't think they were that great. I mean, because obviously the difference between watching an MTV video and listening to a studio record as opposed to what you see live.
Yeah, sure.
It was okay. I mean, I went there expecting to see somewhat of a bombastic, over the top performance, and it really was just kind of like, okay, that sounds like a garage band.
Yeah, they figured it out though once they toured with Pantera a couple of times.
Oh yeah. I mean, we Now, was it Sebastian Solo that we saw at was it Rhodes Arena?
Rhodes Arena, yeah.
Yeah, was that Sebastian Solo?
Yeah, that was Sebastian Solo.
Yeah, so he came out there and played with a song with Pantera, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was them, Anthrax, and it was Sebastian, Anthrax, and Pantera. That was the one where me and Randy got completely fucked up with the bands.
Yeah, I know, but isn't that weird? Does that seem like that happened yesterday?
No, that does seem like a long time ago.
Really? To me, I remember that just standing on the floor watching that show, and it to me it seems like that happened like last year.
Yeah, that was a long
And what was that, like 2000,
time.
99, 2000,
Something like that.
somewhere
Yeah.
around there?
I mean, Anthrax was on Volume 8 tour. I remember
Mhm.
that. So let's figure out when Volume 8 was out. Let's see. Anthrax Volume 8. The Threat is Real. That came out in 1998. So it was either 98 or 99.
Yeah, so I knew it was right around there.
Yeah.
And I went to that show, and it was a good show. It was a solid show.
Yeah. Totally bombed. Oh, oh. Trying to hang with those fucking Pantera guys was a trip. Oh, and Randy, even worse than me. I mean, Randy's not really the drinker.
No.
He's not like this crazy drink guy. Me, I can throw down with anybody, but whew, throwing down with those Pantera boys was something else.
That
Holy
black
shit.
tooth grin.
Whew. Just bombing and fuck every time we had those little clear plastic cups. And I mean, anytime Dimebag saw you with a cup that was empty, he was handing you another cup.
Yeah. Hey, drink up, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you know how it goes, man. You be at a party, everybody's sitting there telling stories and fucking goofing around. A lot of times you'll sit for 10 or 15 minutes just holding an empty cup, and that's how you kind of pace yourself.
Yeah.
Not at this show. Fuck that. Every time somebody had an empty cup, Dimebag's jumping up. He's like, all right, I see you need one. I see you need one. I see you need one. And he's running around getting. He was like the maitre d',
Right.
running around getting us all drinks. We were fucked up.
It was more than free water.
Yeah, it was definitely better than free water. Free. Ooh, wow. We were so hammered at that show, and then after, the worst part was then we had to drive to Canton to go and
Maybe Renee's.
yeah, because some of the Pantera guys were going to play it, and they wanted Randy to go because they thought Randy looked like fucking David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
So we get down there, and now for me, Canton is pretty far from my house.
Yeah, it's like 40 miles.
Canton's a good hour from my house.
Yeah, it's 40 miles from your house.
And I'm drunk. I mean, drunk. And I'm driving. And I have to, not only do I have to drive home, but I have to drive Randy home to Ravenna first. So it's like probably if you take that from Sadie Renee's to Ravenna to my house, is that 60 miles?
It's over 50 miles.
Yeah.
Because you have to go north and then go east, and then you got to go back west to you.
Yeah. So we're doing all this. And mind you, it's not like we got to Sadie Renee's and stopped drinking or started drinking water or something to mellow out a little bit. Absolutely not. We're at Sadie Renee's and they're feeding us drinks there too. It was like, we were so fucked. That was one of the only, Randy at one point was like, dude, you want to stay here at the apartment? And I'm always a definite no on that. That was one of those times that I was like, maybe.
Yeah. But the wife,
well, that was it. It was
the wife.
Yeah, dude, honestly, would have been better for me to get a DWI than to do the right thing and stay at Randy's place. Because at least if I got the DWI, I was trying to get home.
Right, of course.
And that she would have accepted that better than if I would have stayed at Randy's. It was like, you guys were fucking chicks. I know that's what it would have been.
Yeah, because you guys were chick magnets.
Yeah, that's what we were. That's what we were.
If I got half the pussy that I've been accused of getting over my lifetime, my dick would have been like Chuck Negron's.
It would have been great.
Yeah. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you over my lifetime how often I got accused of banging other chicks.
Ah,
And it's like, man, I wish I had half the pussy I've been
yeah,
accused.
no kidding. No kidding.
It's like chicks just don't drop their panties and just beg you to fuck them. They
Yeah,
just don't,
almost never.
it just doesn't happen.
Not normally.
You know, I got accused of that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, same here.
It's like, I'll be honest with you. If I was involved with somebody, I never cheated on them. Never.
Yeah.
Not even once.
To
And
me, getting caught in that, I mean, I was a cheating machine when I was in Korea because I just didn't care. But I was 19 years old, so who gave a shit?
right.
You know, once I put a ring on it, I was done. I was not giving up. And I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't giving up half of my fortune as it was making $30,000 a year.
Your
I, wa-
fortune.
I wasn't giving half of that up to some
Right.
chick I didn't want to be with anymore.
Sure.
There
Some
was no
hooah.
fucking way.
Some hooah.
Yeah, there was no way was I doing that. So I didn't cheat. I was like, fuck that. There's no cheating here. And believe me, when I was famous, Chris, when I was WMMS, Chris, there was a lot of opportunity.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
There was a lot of opportunity from chicks. I can't tell you how many times I was hosting events and chicks were like, I'll suck your dick for fucking Pantera tickets. How about if I just give you the ticket?
Right. Well, speaking of that, I know we talked about this earlier in the show, listening back to some of the Jocktober stuff and the ONA stuff.
Yeah.
I guess they were doing their show next to K-Rock or in the studio next to the K-Rock studio or something when they were picking up their phones.
Yeah.
And they go, man, the K-Rock phones are lighting up like crazy. There must be something going on over there. And they like picked up the phones.
Right.
And they're just like, hey, K-Rock, you know, they're actually K-Rock. Did I win? Did I win? This is like, what do you think you win? Foo Fighter tickets? He goes, all right, all you have to do is repeat after me. I suck cock for K-Rock. You get those Foo Fighter tickets, K-Rock. Right. I suck cock for K-Rock.
Yeah. Dude, they were ahead of their time.
I know, but it's just the whole I'm going to get something for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you do for those tickets? I'll suck your cock for Pantera tickets.
Yeah. There's all, dude, those kind of nights, and you know, the infamous night at Billy's Club when we locked the doors and I started doling out money to get chicks to fucking eat each other out on top of the Pac-Man machine or fucking get naked in the tub of ice water and, you know, got Randy laid. That was one of those times. The one chick was like $40 and I'll fuck you in the back room. And I was like, I looked at Randy. I said, how about if I just give her the $40 and you fuck her in the back room?
Wow.
And Randy was like, okay.
Okay.
Terrific.
Okay, terrific.
And Randy did. He took her right in the back and fucking
God,
banged the tar out of this fucking little girl.
Ugh.
For $40. But dude, you want to talk about getting in trouble? Because I spent a ton of money and I didn't have any money. I went to the ATM machine and drew out like $400. It was like rent money and everything else. You know, it was literally my rent money. But I was just like, fuck it. Who cares? We're having fun. You know, I didn't want the party to end. Ooh. And then trying to not tell her what I did with all the money.
Laying down your trick money for the whores.
I couldn't tell her that. I literally told her that I was drinking and it got away from me. And let her think that I drank $400 worth of booze.
You drank it all.
Yeah. I was more than willing to be guilty of being a drunk
than a whoremonger.
Yeah, and especially since I wasn't banging the whores.
Yeah.
If I
spent the money and I didn't even get it off on it.
Yeah. Do you think she would have believed that?
No.
I have a hard time believing that. I was there. That story just sounds terrible. Oh yeah, I spent a bunch of money and everybody else got laid and not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love you, honey.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm so faithful. I'm faithful to this marriage that's going to last forever, right?
I'm telling you, if any of you listening tonight haven't had a chance to relive the O&A days,
Yeah.
you have got to listen to that shit. I mean, it's been years for me, and listening back, I mean, I'm just like on a different planet listening to these guys.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Just listening to the stories and carrying on, and it's just funny as fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just so good.
Yeah, it is. Dude, speaking of marriage and stuff,
Yes.
do you want me to make your stomach hurt?
Oh, please.
Saw a posting this week on Fuckbook. Steve Jackson engaged.
Well, we knew that.
I know, but now it's official. Steve
Oh,
Jackson engaged.
didn't he just get out of a marriage
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah. Well, got to get into another one.
Yeah, of course. Got to jump right back in.
Well, he dated her a year, therefore you got to jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Ugh. Why would you do that to yourself twice?
Because
And-
this one is going to be the one, man.
Sure. 5 years later, we'll get the call again. Dudes, I should have listened to you guys, man. That bitch was worse than the first one, man. And then 3 months later, I'll be like, I met this other one, man.
Yeah.
She's great. This is the real one this time. Those
Mhm.
other two didn't have quite what it, but this one, she gets me.
Sure.
Shut it. I'm going to make this announcement to Steve Jackson right now. I don't want to hear about your divorce, and I don't want to hear about your third wife. Just stop it. You're sentencing yourself to. It's like injecting cancer into your brain. That's what you're doing. You're injecting cancer into your brain.
Well, you know what's really funny is again with the O&A.
Mhm.
I was listening to an older episode of O&A, and they were talking about the whole marriage and divorce thing.
Yeah.
And Opie was going, yeah, I can't even imagine being married at this
Oh.
point. I can't even imagine being married. And then later he's married, got kids, and that's when the show started sucking.
Yeah, because he got
Because-
married.
Yeah, well, he got married and then he had a kid. And then all he talks about is, well, I'm just hanging around the house, watching the kid, being on Twitter,
Yeah,
and
watching
it's like,
Barney.
it's like, dude. Yeah, and then of course, because the show got a little nutty, especially with Norton and his sense of humor, and
Sure.
Anthony egging him on, and these two are single guys, and then Opie is just like, hey, dude, she's telling me I represent all of us now, and she had to turn it off because she couldn't listen to it, and then
So
I
what?
had. I was just like, oh man, you talk about throwing a wet blanket on a raging inferno.
Yeah. You know, and I'm going to pat myself. That's the only thing I did right in the ramp up to my divorce.
Yes.
I did not let it affect what I was doing here. Knowing she was listening in the other room and knowing that it was going to be a 3-hour fight at the end of it, I still was willing to bring it.
And you did.
And I did.
Which is why you pulled the plug, because she made your life so miserable. You just like, I gotta quit. I can't deal with it anymore.
But I never did a soft show.
No, you didn't do a soft show. You stayed true until you pulled the plug.
Until I couldn't do it anymore.
Until you pulled the plug.
But I wasn't going to do a soft show.
I will never forget that night.
Oh, it was
I
bad.
will never forget it. Sitting there, and you and I are in a groove, and we're into a riff, and we're just talking just bad shit and being silly. And I'm making a statement, and I get nothing back from you, and you're just fucking gone.
Yeah.
And then I get a text. It's like, dude, I had to leave the show, and I still had like an hour left. I think we were about like 5 hours in, and you just left, then you left the show.
Yeah.
So I finished out the show for the last hour. I go to bed. I get up the next morning, and I got this like 4-paragraph email from you telling me that you're leaving the show effective immediately.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
Yeah. It was out of control bad.
It's
And
like,
it's my fault.
I can't take it anymore. This is really affecting my life. I have to just own up to the fact that I'm a family man, and I can't do this kind of humor anymore. But, I'm not going to leave you high and dry, and I'm going to work behind the scenes and help you and get you some interviews and this, that, and the other, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
And again, and you know me, I never had any animus towards you at all.
Of course
never.
not. No.
And then you go, I really love what I do, but I got to concentrate on the family right now. And
What a mess.
and then I kept saying, "You'll be back.
Yeah, what a mess. It was
You'll
a
be
mess.
back." And then you tried to do something clean and launched all the news,
Yeah, which was
and,
doing well, but I hated it.
and it was just like it was boring
Yeah,
for
I
you.
hated it. It was boring as hell to me. It did okay,
Yeah,
but I hated it. I was like, I am not fucking Rush Limbaugh. That's not me.
it's like. And then I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna muddle through here the best I can, and I'll find you a new co-host. And I was just like, dude, if it's not you, I don't want another co-host.
Yeah, we
I
tried with that
I
one.
I don't want another co-host.
Yeah, it just wasn't. I mean, the whole time was a mess, and honestly, I mean, you can't change it, but obviously, the right move would have been tell her to fucking beat it. That was the right move at that point. I should have told her to beat it. My kids were almost out of the house, so this mystery that I was going to be paying was like, how long would I have been paying? 6 months, 8 months, a year? I
Yeah,
mean, I wouldn't have been paying that long, and then they'd have been out of the house.
yeah.
So
I remember talking to my sister. It's like, yeah, Chris had to leave the show. Well, what
good.
happened? And I said, well, his wife was really putting a lot of pressure on him. Well, you guys are pretty dirty.
Yeah,
And I was just like, well, that's kind of what our humor. And it's like, well, I can't blame her.
yeah,
And it was probably good that he left the show to concentrate on his marriage or his
yeah.
life and blah, blah, blah.
Great.
I said, well, it's kind of leaving me hanging. Well, maybe it's time for you to just put that show away because that's just kind of. And it's like, but it's what I like to do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, but it really just doesn't fit in with what we do here. And
yeah. So what? So what?
it's just
I
like,
know, dude. It just was a mess. That whole time, and I'm telling you, that was the deepest depression I ever went into.
I know. I mean, I called you a lot, obviously, because I was in a bad way too,
Yeah,
in a personal way,
right. You were hating your life. I was hating my life.
and then we talk 2 or 3 times a week,
Yeah,
and it's just like, what's going on?
and
Well,
we were
and then
we were still doing a show. We just weren't sharing it.
and then it was just the funniest goddamn thing when you and this happened when we were not doing the show was when
Right.
your wife raided your office area and threw all the
Oh
way
yeah,
CDs and all that
yeah.
shit and just destroyed all your VHS
Cut
videos.
videotapes with scissors, ripped them out and cut them so that I couldn't even put them back together.
Oh my god.
With scissors. I came in and there was just this huge fucking pile of broken CDs and broken videotapes with tape cut all over the place on the floor. And I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. And I was kind of hating my life at the
Oh,
time too. And then you're telling me your story, and I was just like, oh, I guess I don't have it as bad as Chris.
oh, dude, I'm telling you, I wanted to kill myself in the worst way so many times. And I went into total isolation. I didn't just cut off from the show.
Hey, well, you
I
because
cut off from
because
everything.
you were being accused that your quote unquote your friends were bad influences
Yeah,
on you, and
yeah.
so you didn't have any contact with them.
No contact with friends. I went out one time in 2.5 years. I went to BW3's to watch a fucking college football game. I don't even watch college football, but I went to a college to watch a college football game, and and she was somehow okay with that. But dude, and then some of the moves I was making were retarded. She's like, this is your chance to upgrade your friends. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
So
because I hang out with the low lifes,
yeah.
man.
So I started hanging out with this guy. His name was Chris, the same as mine. And he was a senior level guy at Rockwell Technology.
Right.
He was like a senior director of blah, 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 whatever. And had the huge house, remember that he was the guy that got me into that fucking Quick Star nonsense. Which
Yeah,
is then
I
roped you
met him.
into.
I met him. 'Cause
Yeah,
I got into it too.
yeah, because I roped you into that. But and it just was bad. It was like I'm hanging with this fucking guy. I can't talk to him about anything. He didn't like any of the same TV that I did. He didn't like any of the movies that I did. He was a country music fan, so I couldn't talk to him about tunes. And, all he wanted to talk about was his kids going to Aspen for a ski trip and Quick Star. And meanwhile, I couldn't associate with any of this shit because I couldn't afford to send my kids to Aspen and, on a ski trip and fucking. I didn't want to talk about the new John Michael Montgomery record. I just wasn't into any of that stuff. And I'm hanging with this guy sitting at his house. Dude, I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm sitting at this guy's house and he's got like the real foofy fucking hors d'oeuvres bullshit on his table. And we're sitting there and we're talking about that fucking Quick Star, which is basically Amway.
Right.
And so we're talking about it. And he lays all the products that he bought out. And I just was like, man, he bought a lot of fucking product. And then I started thinking about it. This guy can afford these fucking $40 vitamins.
Right.
I can't afford $40 vitamins. Why am I here? But we finished talking about Quick Star. And then, probably for 20 minutes silence because
you ran out of shit to talk about.
There was nothing to talk about.
There was no commonality at all.
No, he was a fucking hardcore Democrat guy, which wasn't such a big deal at the time. But I was like, I wanted nothing to do with politics. I didn't want to talk politics with this guy. And I got Georgetta over my shoulder, making sure I don't say something stupid to offend these new friends.
Something stupid.
Her new wealthier friends.
Right.
She was friends with the wife, and I was like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
And then I just was like, you know what? Fuck it. I just don't want to talk to anybody anymore. And I spent easily a year. I would talk to you on the phone. And that way, and my friend Scotty, and the rest of my life was spent with headphones on.
Right.
I would wear headphones so that I could zone out of the entire fucking world. And I did for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. Just did not function just at all. She did me such a solid by dumping me. It ain't even funny.
Yeah.
And believe me, it shows itself more and more every single day, and we're on good terms. It's the weirdest thing. We're on good terms now, but just even talking to her, when I talk to her about this or that, I just get those little reminders, and it's like, oh, that could really be fucking bad if that was still going on. How I probably would have killed myself.
Right.
I think it's not healthy to be that isolated for that long.
I agree. I completely agree.
And especially somebody that like me, that is a total social butterfly. It is really not good to be that isolated and not talking to anybody but your kids and your wife that you don't even like. That was a whole nother thing. I couldn't really talk to her about anything either. She didn't like sports. She didn't like my music. She didn't like my TV. She didn't like my movies. Yes, Phil, it was my marriage. I will say yes. It was definitely worse than Al Bundy's. Absolutely. Neeley was here to see it. Who would you rather have been, Al Bundy or me? Honest.
I'd be Al Bundy, I guess.
I would too. I would have traded with Al Bundy in a heartbeat. At least he went out to the bar every once in a while and got to look at a tit mag or a strip club every now and again.
Or he fitted women with shoes with short skirts on.
Yeah, could get a little glimpse at the fucking meat flaps or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, Al Bundy got to live a life. I had nothing going on.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I... it was so bad. And now it's not. And it's like, it's such a weird thing because, she'll say to me on occasion now, she'll be like, see, I always knew you didn't want to be married. And I have to say, yeah, you're right on that.
Well, the funny thing is that, and I don't even know if I revealed this to you or not, but you left the show, which we were having fun with.
Yeah.
We were just having fun, just as much fun as we were having today. I guarantee you, we're having more fun today than we did
Oh
then.
yeah, yeah.
But both of us, we were just having a good time. The whole breakthrough for the show, where you and I are concerned about where
Mhm.
the direction of the show was,
Yeah,
was always it'll always be Laser Wolf Mother.
of course. Yeah.
That was where you and I discovered that what we do free form
Hmm.
works best.
Yeah, and long form. That
Yeah,
was the other thing. Free form and long form. Because we used to try and like we used to do segments, but they were all like 10 minutes.
yeah, because we were trying to be formatted.
Yeah, we were trying to be like a radio show. We were
Yeah,
trying to be like, all right, well, well, since we talked about Kingdom Come, let's play a Kingdom Come song. Blah, 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 blah.
exactly. Yeah, and we were very formatted because we were both used to the radio clock.
Mhm.
So we were trying to stay and be traditional radio,
Yeah,
but then we realized we don't have to do that.
yeah,
And then when we did the Laser Wolf Mother thing, and then we
yeah.
talked to that Kushnick guy from
From Thor.
yeah, Thor, and he said he was listening to the show and he thought we were really funny. It
Yeah,
was just like, holy shit, we kind of like stumbled onto, what we can do.
yeah,
And we were really starting to pick up momentum, and that's when
yeah,
things started getting ugly
yeah.
in your life anyway.
Oh, yeah, it was bad. It,
And
it
so
was such, dude, it was so, and there's more to it. There was, I was doing the CMS and having so much fun.
yeah.
Then I would get from 3:05 till about 6 or 7 in the morning, I would just get destroyed by the wife.
Well,
Just
what I was trying to drive at here
yeah, uh-huh,
is that you were having fun with me doing the show.
absolutely.
Because we were really kind of finding our center, kind of,
Mhm,
hitting the ground running, and we
yeah,
just realized that we could do kind of goofy shit. We could do bits. We could
mhm,
pick on Talking Metal. We
yeah,
were
the
goofing
twat,
on the Rev. We were doing all kinds of just kind of just off the cuff shit,
yep,
and then you pulled the plug.
yeah, that was bad.
Because obviously for your personal circumstances,
Yeah,
but here's the thing, you after you left the show,
mhm,
and I thought you were done. I thought, okay, well, Chris is done. Obviously, he's trying to take care of shit. Well, then you launch all the news.
yeah,
And my personal thought was, wait a minute. You can do all the news, but you can't do the show with me?
yeah,
And you didn't spend a lot of time on doing all the news. I mean, that lasted maybe what, 6 or 8 months?
yeah, not too long.
It wasn't very long, but you were uploading segments and you were recording stuff where you were
Yeah,
analyzing the news, as you put
mhm,
it earlier, Rush Limbaugh. And I'm
yeah,
going, what are you doing that for when you have a perfectly, able co-host to do
yeah,
fun shit with, that you're doing anyway, but now you're just doing
yeah,
something, an alternative to what we're doing, but you're still spending time to do it, but you're
uh-huh,
not doing it with me or doing it with the show. And it's like,
that was the thing.
well, it's safer and it's not controversial, and the wife isn't on my ass.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. She didn't like you.
Well,
She didn't like you,
who,
and
who doesn't like me?
well, dude, that was the weirdest thing of all of it, was she always blamed everybody else for who I was being, and never understood I was the bad guy. It wasn't you. You're certainly not as fucking filthy as me. Never have been, never will be. She used to think Matt was the problem with the metal show.
And he's as clean as a whistle.
Matt is the nicest fucking guy ever. I mean, literally, Matt is the nicest guy you'll ever meet. But she always thought that Matt was leading me into the bad place, just like you were leading me. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not how it is. I'm the fucking dirty fucking Satan here, and she never got that. She always thought my friends, if I was out drinking and partying, well, it must have been that my friends fucking handed me drinks. I was like, wait a minute. And the worst part is she knew better, because when she met me when we were in Korea, every single Friday, everybody would congregate in my room.
Right.
I was the center of the party. I was that guy. I was the party started with me. When I decided it was time to leave the room and go downtown to Itaewon, we would go in a pack of like 25 people all at once, because everybody, and it was all me. It was all, I'm ready to go. So we would all venture down to Itaewon. We would all sit in the same place, the same booths at the bars that we would go to. We would, if a fight started, I was always the one throwing the first punch, and then everybody would jump in, but I was always the instigator. And somewhere along the way, she forgot that that's who I was. It was crazy, dude. I'm the bad guy. Exactly right.
You're the bad guy.
I am the bad guy.
White shirt, now
My girl. Yep, that's right. I'm a bad guy.
Just the bad guy.
Dude, it was so crazy. I mean, for her to think, listening to, and if you listen to those CMS, the classic episodes of the CMS,
Yes.
listen to Kay and Abby, you listen to Dirt Talk, you listen to Jason the Horse, you listen to
Talking Metal,
or Pontiff, was Sister Bertha Bangers. Any of those segments, who is the vile one?
You.
I'm always the vile one.
Well, my the girl that I was dating, Rebecca, couldn't stand you. My sister couldn't stand you.
Of course.
Oh, why is he gonna swear all the time? Why is he gonna say such filthy things all the time? How can you be friends with a guy like that? You're not like that.
Yeah.
You don't say stuff like that.
Yeah, not to you.
You don't say stuff like, I heard the show the other night. You guys were just like being really filthy.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be a fucking clean show. It's a dirty show.
Yeah.
And nobody ever wants to get that. They all want it to be what they want.
Right. But
and the chicks never get this show. They never. No. Dude, I was looking at our numbers on Anchor, I think, or Spotify, whatever it is. And it's like our audience is 88% 45 to 59 or whatever, or 65, whatever that is, 45 to 65, that number. And it is 93% male.
Of course.
93% male. This is a guy's show. We know that. And unlike those that fucking cower to the Me Too movement, we're not changing that.
Well, we need a hole on the show.
No, we don't. We don't need a hole, and we don't need to appeal to the holes. The only chicks that listen to this show are chicks that have guy humor. That's it. Any chick that fucking thinks like a chick is not welcome here and will never want to be here. And that's just the way it is. And that's most chicks. We don't want you. We don't want you to listen.
Well, again, another credit to O&A coming up with the term hole.
Oh, I know. It's great.
The hole.
Oh, and it fits perfect.
And again, they got the hole.
Yeah.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Guys.
Oh, you're so bad.
Phil hit it on the head. COVID is sweeter than marriage.
Right.
I would take COVID again over being married again.
I had the COVID over Labor Day.
I'll take the COVID I had again over being married again. Honestly, what would you take? A 5-year marriage or 1 week where you may or may not live?
Oh, I'll take that 1 week.
Yeah, you'll take the risk, right?
Of course.
Yeah, me too. Do that every time. Matter of fact, I'll stay home another 3 days and then go to the hospital. I'll really roll the dice. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Phil Ooze.
Yeah.
Life would have been sweeter with Rhonda.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah. No, that the marriage thing just that time period though, dude, that was so disappointing walking away from the fucking show. We were right on the cusp.
We were on a trajectory at that point.
Yeah. We were right there and I just had to walk away from it because I needed to save my marriage. Oh, what a
Right.
moron. What a moron. I should have just said, fuck you, leave. Leave me, please. You know, that's the worst part about it is if I just would have said, I'm not quitting this, you could just go ahead and leave now. She probably would have. And my life, I could have saved myself 3 years. I could have got 3 years back. Man, that would have been nice. But no.
Disappointed!
Amen. I was disappointed. Disappointed in myself now. For 23 wasted years, not just 3. Oof. I should have broke out. Dude, that's the weirdest thing, man. When you think about your marriage, your wife, do you feel like you broke up at the right time, you waited too long, or those are your two options. You either broke up at the right time when you should have, or you waited too long.
Are you talking about me personally?
Yeah, you personally, with your 3-year marriage, did you wait too long or not?
I got married in August of 84.
Mm-hmm.
And it was over by May of 87.
Okay.
So it was not quite 3 years. It was almost 3 years.
Okay.
And I will tell you that between, let's see here. Let's see, it was over by May of 87. I think I slept on the couch between, I think I started sleeping on the couch about September of 86.
Okay.
And it was over by 87. And that was the end of it. And I was just the happiest I could be.
So you feel like you probably should have cut it just a little bit sooner.
Just a little sooner.
Me and her, we knew that it wasn't working year 1.
Well, I knew I made a mistake the night I got married.
I did that too.
Yeah, because I remember, my wedding night, we spent the night in a hotel.
Yeah.
And this is again where I empathize with Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
He told this story about, I think he got married, right?
Not to Jill or anything.
No. He got married really early.
Yeah, he did.
And he said that he laid there with tears of bitter regret on his wedding night.
Right.
I did the same exact goddamn thing.
Oh, Jesus.
I was just like, what did I fucking do?
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, I made this decision. I made my bed. I'm going to lie in it.
Sure.
And I tried to do the best I could. And she just made my life miserable. And after about 2.5 years in, I was just like, I'm fucking done here.
Sure.
Done.
Dude, I'll tell my wedding night story too, because this is no better. In fact, this is worse on me, but I don't care. I'll just share it anyway. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. We had to get married to be together. I came down on orders to go to, I came down on orders to go to Fort Hood, Texas. She came down on orders to go to Fort Ord in California. It might've been the other way around. I don't remember exactly, but one of us was California. One of us was Texas. And the only way we could be together is to get married. We had to get married, then we could file a thing, and then we could, be together, that type of deal. So it's almost like we had to get married to date. That was really what it was we sort of had to get married and then date. So we made a plan, fly her in, get married, fly her to fuck back to Korea to finish her time. She had like 2 or 3 months after that to do. So in that time, I get a DWI. I get in trouble. I get busted. I get busted with all these fucking fake IDs in my pocket and other friends' IDs and this whole thing. Just a mess. And I really blew up my entire life because we had all these plans that we were going to do. We were going to finish out our Army time. I was going to go to work at NASA. You know, I had a security clearance and I was an intel guy. So I had already talked to the people at NASA and they were like, yeah, as soon as you're done, you know, when you're about a year out, hit us up. We'll get all the paperwork done. You can walk right into NASA when you're done. And I mean, we had all of this already laid out. Then I get a DWI in intelligence school, no less. I'm in intel school. First thing they do, pull my security clearance,
Right.
which means my job in the Army is now fucked because you can't be an intel guy without a fucking clearance. Then NASA says, no, can't have you without a clearance. So I'm fucked in NASA. I'm just fucked every which way, right? I don't tell Georgetta that I get this DWI. I wait till she gets here. She flies in from Korea to Arizona. And I sit her down that first night and I said, hey, I got to tell you something. You're not going to like it. You know, and I tell her I got busted. I got a DWI, my security clearance, our whole future, everything's fucked, but we'll be okay if you still want to get married. And I'm thinking she's going to fucking split.
Yeah, she's going to bail.
I'm thinking she is going to fucking split.
Right.
And she's like, no, you know, I love you. We'll make it work. You know, all the happy horse shit that we all tell each other when we're fucking brand new.
Right.
Brand new and in love, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, this is going to be good, right? So we get married. We do a justice of the peace, a quickie deal, you know. And dude, the funniest thing, I should find the picture and put it up. I had nothing to offer. So nothing to offer that she had to pay for the justice of the peace because I had no money because I had to pay the fine for the DWI. And I couldn't even afford a sport coat for the wedding itself. So I had to borrow my friend Tony's sport coat.
Nice.
I'm wearing this sport coat that's like 3 sizes too big for me, you know, at my own fucking wedding because I couldn't afford anything. So we get married, and instead of doing like a party thing, we just went up to the mountains. All my friends, she doesn't know anybody there, but me and all my friends, we go up to the mountains with a hibachi and mad amounts of alcohol, right? I, of course, get completely fucking annihilated. Just fucked beyond all fucked, alcohol drip. You know, guy that just got a DWI and isn't supposed to be drinking. I drank my fucking face off. And we're in the mountains in Arizona. I get sunburned so bad that everything, my back, my shoulders, everything gets fucking blister burns. So when we finally go back to the hotel, I sure ain't fucking her because A, I can't move because I got blisters all over me. And B, I'm too fucked up. I just passed out. And she told me, she told me after, she was like, I should have just fucking walked away that day. and I don't disagree with her. She should have walked away that day.
Right.
But she didn't. She stuck around. And when we got to California, we realized in a mega fucking hurry that we were not working. I mean, every single day was a fucking screaming argument. Every day, me and her just nose to nose screaming at each other. And it was like, what are we fucking doing? And I don't know why, but I just was like, we're going to fucking fix this. And, you know, I had my mom chirping in my ear and she had somebody chirping in her ear that's all married couples. And you just got to tough it out through the first 2 years. And then and then it all settles down once you learn how to live with the other person. But everybody kept saying 2 years. And I was like, okay, well, then I'll wait 2 years, right? Well, middle of that first year, I knocked her up, and then I was like, well, I can't leave now. I got a kid. I got a kid. I can't fucking split. So onward we went. We had that kid, and we did break up for a bit. And I had the brilliant idea with her. We broke up for like 7 weeks. She went to Kentucky and I was here. And I convinced her to come back and have another kid because that would fix everything.
Baby, come back.
Yeah, it was so stupid. Just the dumbest thought I ever had in my life was, yeah, we'll just have another kid and that'll make everything better. So she came back and, we fucked like rabbits for a fucking month or two. She got pregnant, had another kid. Nothing was better. It was completely fucked up. Then I got fucking hurt. Then I got the burn accident happened. Then it was like she didn't leave because she was trying to do the right thing. And dude, we just fucking hung out until finally the kids were grown. It was such a stupid thing, man. We hung on way too long.
Yeah.
Like 23 years too long, 22 years too long. Yeah, it was bad, man. Yeah, you're right.
I gave you my heart. I gave it all to you. Now there's no way that I can lose. Every little look inside your eyes, it's all it takes to make me realize we can last forever. Every little moment we can share, gonna let you know how much I care. I'll always be there.
Fuck you, Chicago. Fuck off.
We can last forever.
It's songs like that fucking convince me to keep reading it out. I should have been listening to like 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf. It's over. You're never going to get what you want.
Right.
But at least you got something decent.
Right.
I should have at least gone that route.
Sure.
Or fucking Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Exactly.
I told you that I loved you, so I'll just fucking stick it out till the end of time.
Right.
That's really the theme to Chris Aiken's marriage.
That really is.
That is the theme to my marriage. Is Paradise.
It's like I made a commitment, so I guess I'll live it out. Whether I enjoy life or not, I'll just live miserably.
Yeah. And now I'm waiting for the end of time to hurry up and arrive.
Right.
Because if I got to spend even one more fucking second with you, I don't think I'm going to survive. That is me.
Yeah, I know.
That was Meatloaf. He probably came to my house and wrote it when I wasn't looking.
Me, I was at the point where I was just like, I can't live the rest of my days like this.
Dude,
I have got to get out of here.
Dude, I'm telling you, had she not dumped me, and I promise this, had she not dumped me, I'd still be with her today, 10 years later.
Right.
No doubt in my mind, I would still be with her right now. Because I would have never quit. To me, it was almost like, it was like I said I would do this good, bad, sick, health. She stuck with me in the health part and the bad part. I was never going to just leave because I didn't like her. I just was like, fuck, I guess that's what marriage is.
Yeah.
You just don't like each other. So, okay, whatever. That's what I'm doing. Never would have left.
I'm a man of my word.
I'm glad she dumped me, man. Believe me. Best favor she ever did me was fucking taking another dick. Best favor she ever did.
And then he died.
Then he died.
I don't know if that was supposed to reveal that, but
victory lap for Chris.
Yeah.
No, that would be wrong. Nah. Look, as much as I should probably hate that guy because he was banging my wife when she was my wife, rest in peace, bro, and thank you for doing me a solid.
Well, I got a story like that too.
All right.
So when I was living in California, we were living in an apartment complex, right?
Okay.
So there was this guy, real nice guy, just kind of unassuming, just kind of a low key guy.
Right.
We lived near a Air Force base.
Okay.
It was what was it? George Air Force Base. And this guy was based at George Air Force Base, as
Okay.
were a lot of people in the town there that I lived in.
Sure.
And he lived in the one bedroom apartment right next to us, right? And
Mhm.
he was a Midwestern guy. He was from Indiana. And my wife and I split up,
Right.
and she went on to go live with some lady. She was doing some kind of like caretaking type stuff for like a older lady who needed some assistance around the house.
Okay.
So I came out, I came out of I was either, I think I was coming home from work or something. And as I'm walking up the sidewalk to my apartment, she comes walking out of this guy's apartment.
Okay.
And I was like, what are you doing here? And
Right.
she goes, oh, well, he's out of town. He's on maneuvers or some shit like that. And he asked me to kind of watch his apartment.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, okay. All right. Nice seeing you. And I just kind of went about my business, me, very unassuming. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Go to my apartment, do go to, yeah, I think it was like on a Friday or Thursday, Friday, whatever.
Mhm.
So Saturday afternoon, I get a knock on my door. So I open up the door. She and this guy, my next door neighbor,
Mhm.
is at the door. And I'm just like, oh, hey, guys, what's going on? And he's like, hey, man, I just wondered if we could come in and talk to you for a minute. I'm just
All
like,
right.
okay, come on in. So,
Sure.
so they come in and they sit down on the couch, and he goes, hey, listen, you and I have been neighbors for, a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
And I just kind of want to come clean here, and I just want to make sure that there's no issues here, whatever. But I've been dating your ex-wife.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was just like, okay. And so she's got a ring on her finger, right?
Boy. Okay.
And he says, yeah, we're engaged, and I just kind of wanted to let you know because you've been kind of a cool guy and you've never had a problem with me, and I just didn't want it to be a secret, and all this other stuff. And I was just like, okay, dude, whatever. I said, cool with me. I said,
Right.
and this is my exact words. I just hope you know what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
And he goes, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, you'll find out.
Yeah.
Not 6 weeks later,
Mhm.
this guy comes knocking at my door by himself. And he comes to my door, and I open up the door, and hey, dude, what's up? And he goes, can I come in? And I go, yeah, sure, come on in. So he sits on my couch. This guy starts breaking down in tears,
Right.
crying his eyes out. And I go, what's up? And he said, you know what, dude? When we were here and I told you that I was dating your ex-wife, and you said that, I hope you know what I'm getting into, and I didn't know what you meant, and you said you'll find out. Well, I found out this chick is just like a fucking bitch, and and this guy's talking to me while he's sobbing,
Oh boy.
crying his eyes out.
Mhm.
It's where I feel that I have to get up and go to the kitchen and get him a paper towel
Jeez.
to wipe his eyes.
Jeez, oh man.
And he goes, she's such a horrible person, dude. And I'm sorry I ever got mixed up with her. And I knew it was wrong, and I should have never. And he was just crying his eyes out.
That's crazy.
And I'm sitting here laughing today. This was over 30 years ago.
Right.
But he was sitting there crying.
Yeah.
He was weeping.
And he
And,
had been with her what? A month?
What's that?
How long had he been with her? 6 months?
Well, yeah, 6 months maybe. And then he basically spelled out how she put the pressure on him to get her a ring, and that that they had to get married, and all this other shit. And I was just like, yeah, I kind of get it. And he goes, yeah, I'm so sorry, man. I'm just sorry I got involved with her, and you've been a cool neighbor. And this is just so bad. And I'm just like, dude, take it easy. It's okay. I didn't know who else to talk to, and I just wanted to let you know that I understand now.
Man, how do you cry over somebody? I'm okay with the crying part if you've been with them for a long time, but 6 months?
Yeah, it was less than a year. I don't know if it was 6 months, maybe 8 months at the most, but
Oh,
this guy was weeping. And he told me how he bought her like a 1 carat diamond ring because on her insistence that he get her a ring, and they were
right.
gonna get married and all this bullshit. And I was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I don't get it.
You know, it was just horrible.
Yeah.
And then fortunately for this guy, he got deployed somewhere else, so he was gone. And
Right.
then before I knew it, she was involved with another dude,
Of course.
who was a Mexican gardener, and she got knocked up by this guy.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's a whole nother story. But regardless of that, it was just bizarre how this guy came and he wanted to make everything above board and wanted to be, honest about it. Cause he was just a Midwestern guy. He was I think he was from like Terre Haute, Indiana or something originally. And
Okay.
he was out in California. And me, I was from Ohio and
Right.
Midwestern. And we kind of had that Midwestern value, and this
Sure.
guy was just feeling guilty, and he just wanted to make sure everything was cool because he was our neighbor for like a year.
Right.
And she just kind of like put her latches into him, after we broke up. And granted, she was an attractive girl, but man,
Sure.
she was a horrible person.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them out there.
I haven't seen her since August of 87 was the last time I saw her.
Yeah.
And since then, I've run one of those personal profile things. She's been married 4 times.
Oh, boy.
And I'm thinking, what does this chick have that guys are willing to marry her?
Pussy.
you know
Dude, especially if you've been in a bad relationship where the sex goes bad, then when you get something that's good, it's like, oh, this is what I need.
Really?
Yeah, that's what happens to most guys. Dude, most guys are so first of all, most guys do not remember that pussy in general is not worth marrying over. They forget.
Yeah.
They forget. They get laid and, dude, with every chick you've ever had a long-term relationship with, a lot like at least a year,
At least a year.
okay? There's at least one sexual time that was really fucking more amazing than the rest. True?
Yeah, because you finally get into a
You get a groove.
sympathetic,
Yeah.
simpatico rhythm, I guess.
Yeah, and you just have that one. It usually is just a day or whatever, but everything flows right. The feeling is right. The feelings are right. The day itself plays out right. Everything works out. Unfortunately, with guys, that's the day we always fucking compare everything to. That's the day. That's why guys will never. That's why guys like me, stupid ass me, stay in relationships too long.
Right. Right.
It's like, because I can get that back. That day was so good. I'll be the first one to say that is definitely what happened with me and Georgetta.
Well, that's what's called lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Me and Georgetta, we had this fucking ridiculous, crazy fucking sex night where we were dating at the Naeja Hotel in fucking Korea in downtown Seoul. And it was like just 12 hours of just nonstop fucking.
Right.
It was fucking ridiculous, man. Fucking the kind of shit you see in pornos where you're fucking and you fall off the bed, you don't even pull your dick out. I mean, it was that kind of just absolutely fucking ridiculous sex night, right?
Right. For sure.
I can't tell you how many times when I was at my worst with her, I would think to myself, but I could there's got to be a way to get back to that.
Yeah.
I would think that all the time. There's got to be a way to get back to that. Well, the reality is there's not a way to get back to that.
No, it was just a moment in time, and it was fleeting. It was a fleeting moment in time.
Yeah. And I'm not fucking 19 years old with 3% body fat anymore either. I'm fucking dumpy 35 burn victim guy. I'm not going to find that again.
Yep.
I'm not in that kind of shape. I'm not in that kind of mental mood. Now everything bothers me a lot more, Back then, I mean, what were my issues back then? Chasing chicks. That was the only issues I had when I was 19 years old.
Right.
Getting laid and partying. I didn't care about politics, bills, life, anything. I cared about getting laid and fucking partying, which made it easy to fucking fall in love and really get into a crazy fucking sex life with this chick. And then all of a sudden it was like, I can get back to that. I know I can find my way back to that. And the reality was, no, there's no finding your way back. And that is a lesson that guys need to learn. Whatever that special time was, it ain't coming back. That most special time, if it's been more than 6 months and you haven't felt that way again, that's the moment that you mark as the fucking time you started falling down the hill.
Right.
And the only difference is if there's a plateau level on that hill or if you're going to fall all the way to the bottom and get hit by a car in traffic. And for most of us, we fall into the traffic. That's just the truth to it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I had this chick that I dated, back in between 89 and 91.
Mm-hmm.
It was on again, off again thing.
Yeah.
And she wasn't exactly the most loyal girl, but we had just amazing chemistry when it came to sex.
Okay.
And, she did some, kind of despicable things. And somehow, some way, as a young man, I find a way in my heart to forgive her trespasses.
Yeah.
because of that thing. And I did recapture it several times over that 2-year period.
Okay.
It would ebb and flow. Then she'd be doing something and it was kind of like despicable and whatever. And I would forgive her and then it would heat up again. And then it was, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what ended it was I actually caught her in bed with another dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's what ended it right there because I walked in on her.
And you didn't murder her and him.
Well, what was I going to do?
See, this is here. I can explain this story super easy. You never, and it's why you would never be able to be married for any length of time. You would never commit emotionally fully to anybody.
No, that's
never.
True. That's true.
Never have and never will. And that's why you don't have rage when that kind of shit happens. You didn't have rage.
No.
You were disappointed, I'm assuming. But you didn't have rage. Dude, I had the same thing with this girl that I brought here from Korea. She was my fiance before. I wrote about her in my book.
Right.
Now, she was my fiance before. We came here, met parents for fuck's sake. She went back. She had to go back like a day before me because it was a long story. It was a flight thing.
What was it? The chick from Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah. That girl.
Yeah. She went back. I get back a day later. I go find her in a room banging some dude.
Right.
In the room. The minute I get back, what did I do? Fucking beat this guy within an inch of his life. I mean, I fucking beat this guy. Had no clothes on, and I'm kicking him in the fucking balls.
Right.
Shoot a bare balls. Just boom, kicking him in his fucking ribs, dropping down, punching him in his fucking face. I beat this guy almost to death. And I wanted to beat her to death too. I had that rage, but it's because I wear my emotions very much on my sleeve. And whenever I get into anything, it's 1,000,000 fucking %. And to me, that was like the ultimate fucking betrayal, which I'm ready to go to war over. And you don't commit to that level. You always keep that even keel, which has helped you probably not fall into the trap of having just a bad marriage that you've like everybody else that lasts 10 years and you look back at it and are like, what the fuck was I doing? Am I wrong? That's right. Am I wrong on this?
Well, you're right. I'll agree that I've always kept one foot off the bed.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm, it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna commit to both feet on the bed. I've got one foot on the floor, and if I have to bolt for the door, that's what I got to do.
Dude, I don't believe you put the car keys down. I believe that even when you're in a relationship, you sleep with the keys in your hand.
Exactly.
So that if she acts up even slightly, you're just like, I already got the keys. I'm out.
Well, I'm the guy that Junkyard sings about. It's just like, I want to take my keys and my cigarettes and drive off into the night.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you keep your car running. Keep it well gassed up.
And that's what I always say. It's like, don't take your shoes off at the door. You're not staying very long. That's
right. And with you've got where you're going mapped out. Dude, if you were in a relationship right now, you would know, like, and I'm playing sake of argument here because I know this would never happen. But let's just say you were in such a relationship that you actually moved in with the chick.
Oh, yeah.
Not her. I know that would never happen. That's what I'm just playing the game. If that were to happen, you would know on the very best day of the relationship that if anything fell out, where you were going to go and stay.
You're right.
You would be like, I'm going to go to this hotel.
No, it's a plan B.
Yeah, but you would always have that plan B.
Of course.
I went into my shit just fucking blind.
Yeah, blind.
Maybe that's why I hate that song. Fucking it's the way I live. Because that's just the way I live my life. I just go into everything blind.
Flying blind.
Exactly. But, and I get it. Everybody's different. And I hate to say it, but I think there's more guys like me that are just fucking, none of us think. We're all addicted to puss. We love getting our dick sucked. And then we're just like, oh, this is the best. I got built-in pussy. And she loves me.
Right.
There's that piece too. As much as guys will always talk about, oh, it's all about the pussy. It's all about it. No, we all fucking are like, well, she loves me. And this person cares about me in a way no one else ever has.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's all shit.
Well, what's funny about me is that I have loaded guns.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of cash stashed.
Yeah.
And I'm single. I'm by myself, but even if something were to go bad, I have a way of just grabbing that cash, grabbing my guns, grabbing my keys, and I'm out the door.
See you later. Exactly. Yeah. I'm in that boat now, but I wasn't for a while. I mean, dude, tell me this doesn't grind your gears to no end when you have a friend that says this. You have a friend, they're in a marriage, and they start fucking up. They start fucking up in their marriage. And you warn them. I don't know if you've ever gotten that way, but I've been that way with some of my friends, and I'll be like, dude, you better fucking taper back. Whether it's partying or drinking or they're running around to the strip club or they're cheating on their chick. Yeah, whatever it is.
It's just like, you better be prepared.
Yeah, and I'll always be like, dude, you gotta pull back a little bit. You gotta fucking ease up. You're married. And they'll always say, oh, she won't do anything about it. And it's like, dude, you are a fucking mental patient. They think that the relationship that they're in now, when she doesn't know that they're fucking up, is the relationship that they're going to be in when they know that you're fucking up. And that's just not true.
Right.
The minute you fuck up, you're all of a sudden enemy number one. Just like if you had raped their kid.
Right.
You're in that boat.
Well,
and so many people do not get that.
Yeah. Well, again, all they need to do is listen to the Antolini thing.
Yeah.
And he comes home with clothes burning in his fire pit and some of his stuff gone and his Escalade gone and his gun permit gone and this other shit while he's at work doing his job.
Dude, how about the Aiken-Leany bit where I come home and I got all my fucking shit in a pile all broken and cut up? And I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know.
I literally went to work and came home. It wasn't even like this was after the CMS or anything. This was just like a random Tuesday.
You just went to work, and nothing even prompted that or even spurred that,
Yeah.
and then you come home and you come home to this and it's just like, what the fuck happened here?
Huh? You shouldn't be listening to this shit. You shouldn't have these kind of influences in your brain.
Yeah.
That's what she told me. I was like, what? Well, how old am I? 10? It's like, and just looking at it and talk about 10-year-old behavior. Fucking my Howard Stern private parts tapes all cut up and shit. The fuck is that? It's like, what are you doing? But dude, chicks are fuck. But again, it goes to what I was saying before. The minute they think that you're fucking up, don't think that the fucking good relationship that you had is there. That's completely dead.
Yeah.
Completely gone. And what replaces it is an evil, scummy whore. That's what replaces it. Some bitch that you wouldn't fucking say hello to.
Yeah.
That's what replaces it. Every time, in every single situation of not only my situation, any situation of any friend I've ever had, the minute it goes bad, the chick is a fucking beast.
Yeah. Well, and I think I told this story before, but the last one I was involved with 3 years ago, we went to a local casino here.
Yeah.
And she's playing her slot games, and I don't really have a lot of interest in playing slots, so I'm just kind of walking around, kind of looking at the casino, not far from where she's playing.
Yeah.
And I run into to the girl that used to cut my hair years ago. I hadn't seen her literally in a decade. And she's like, "Hey, Wendell, how are you?" And I'm just like, "Oh, Bridget, hey, long time no see. How are you?" And she's like, "Wow, strange meeting you here." And I'm just like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Yeah, you're looking good. Wow, it's been so long. And, how are you? And everything good?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just here with my chick, and so on and so forth." And she goes, "Yeah, me and my friend, we're just here kind of hanging out, just playing some games and blah, 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 blah." And I'm just like, "Cool, nice to see you again." And that was it. So this chick's walking away from me.
Right.
And my chick comes walking up and she goes, "Well, who was that?" And I was like, "Oh, it was the girl that cut my hair years ago when I first moved here." And she goes, "Well, how did she know you were here?"
Oh my God. Are you
And
kidding?
I was just like, I just kind of ran into her. I was just standing here and she goes, I don't know. You just always seem like you're up to something."
Oh,
And I'm just like, I'm just standing here. I wasn't even doing anything.
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
right. You're right. While she talked to me for those 30 seconds, we planned a rendezvous.
It's like I hadn't seen her in 10 years. I just was standing here. I just ran into her. "Well, why are you always acting so suspicious?"
Oh, shut up.
I'm just like, I'm not acting suspicious. I'm just standing here.
With that one, you just want to say, "Listen, bitch, go have a drink.
Yeah.
I know you don't drink, but now it's about time to start again."
Yeah. And then of course it was the whole mood all day,
Yeah, of
the
course.
whole attitude. And it was just like, I didn't even do anything. I was just standing there and I just happened to run into somebody I hadn't seen in literally years and said, "Hey, how are you?" And that was about the end of it.
Yeah. Well, dude, that one, and they're all the same. In my opinion, they're all the fucking same.
Yeah.
That one gave you static because you were talking to me.
Yeah, I know.
When we were doing the show, we were doing our broadcast from Melodic Rock Fest. And I saw it. We finished a segment and she turned to you and said, "How long are you and he going to talk to each other?"
Exactly.
And it was like, this is why we're here.
Yes. You were just an invited guest.
Yeah. He didn't come to this thing to spend 12 hours with you. This is why we were invited. This is why we were given the free hotel room that you had no problem staying in. We were given the hotel rooms to do exactly what we were doing. Broadcast.
Right.
That's what we were supposed to be doing.
I know. It's just like the whole it's about me all the
Yeah.
time and my insecurity and why aren't you paying attention to me?
Yeah. I just remember that we finished a segment and she literally, the second we finished, she was like, how long are you two going to talk to each other?
As long as it takes.
And I was like, wow. And then like 2 seconds later, I made the cardinal mistake of offering her a drink.
Right. Can I get you a drink?
You should know that I don't.
I'm sorry.
what?
Yeah, I just was being friendly. I was just being cordial.
No, I was like, and I literally said to her, I said, well, Coke's a drink. And then she got even more mad because I was a shitty, and she probably yelled at you about me being a smart ass.
Well, yeah, of course. And then you said, well, how about you, Neeley? Can I get you a drink? And I said, yeah, I'll have a Jack and Coke. Oh, you're drinking Jack and Coke?
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, I'm staying here because she was leaving. She was
Right.
she was taking off and going back home. And I said, yeah, I'm staying here. I said, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Well, don't you think you've had enough?
No.
It's like I've had one today. I don't think, what's the big deal?
Well, you too, who's always fucked up.
I'm always falling down drunk.
Yeah. Since that's happened exactly 0 times in your life. One time in the 20 years I've known you that I've ever seen you buzzed.
Yeah, I got a little buzz on the show. I was drinking some wine on the show one evening, and that was like 10 years ago or 12 years ago.
And you were buzzed up, and I was like, what the hell? And I just remember going, are you fucked up? And you were like, yeah, I think so.
Because I drank a little too much wine on the show.
Yeah. But that's the only time.
Yeah.
In all the events that we've done, in all the events that we've had free drink until you drop carte blanche from the bar owners.
Yeah, from the hi-fi.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did Billy say drink as much as you want, and you would drink like 2 glasses of wine?
Yeah, maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. He'd give me like a magnum of wine, and I maybe drank a half of it.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he'd do the same thing to me, and I'd try to fucking empty the place. All right, here's number 30. Let's go. Just drink until I would drop.
Right.
It's dude, I don't know. These chicks, they're just a fucking goddamn disaster sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
I know. But
so glad I don't have one in my life.
The thing is you're just trying to have some fun and just kind of relax and just being silly and just doing your thing. And it's always a problem. It's always a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a thing that it really has made, and I don't know if it's just people this age or if it's literally this time period in history or whatever, but it has made it to where if you've done it once and it didn't work, there is no reason to do it again. There's no reason. I don't understand anybody that does it a second time.
Right.
As much as this all started because we were goofing on Steve Jackson.
Yeah.
It's not that look, if he's happy, more power to him. And that's the honesty. That's the truth. I mean, I know we're busting his balls a little bit just because I know he'll hear this segment later.
Sure.
But if he's happy and this chick is the one, all more power to you. But it's like, dude, what is the fucking rush? Move her in. What does the piece of paper mean? Doesn't mean shit. What do you get? Cheaper health care? Pay the extra $8 a month. I mean, how much of a difference is the health care? Honestly.
Assuming you even have that.
Yeah. And if you don't, I mean, couldn't you do a civil union or a civil agreement or something?
Yeah.
There's got to be a way around it. There's got to be a way that's not a bad contract for half your shit. I mean, God damn it. How do you fucking do that? How do you obligate half your shit? If I was in a dude, when I was messing around with Teresa and she was living here and it was like when it was fucking very apparent that was going to be a fucking disaster, which that was a disaster.
Yes, it was.
But I can remember one day after she left, I walked through this house and I was like, I'll have to give up that. I'll have to give up that. I'll have to give up that. And it's like, dude, get rid of her. And I did. I had to. I had to be like, get the fuck out of here. That again. I don't ever try to say that I'm brilliant at dating. I'm not. Teresa's another fine one. I hooked up with her. I think we dated for 2 weeks and I moved her in. I think it was it 2 weeks?
It didn't take very long.
It was like no time.
Yeah.
And then she was living here. And then once she was living here, I was like, all of a sudden I was like, man, I do not like this girl. How do I get out of this?
Right.
And even that, it still took me a month and a half to get her out.
Yeah.
And that's a whole story all by itself, because then it was like I packed all her shit into a box and she wanted to come and get the box. And I was like, no. I told her absolutely no. I said, I'll leave the box outside, but I will not fucking meet. I didn't want to meet with her even. I just didn't want to I wanted nothing to do with her. So then she agreed to have her dad come and pick up her shit.
I remember you telling me that.
And then the dad came and he wanted to talk me through it. I was like, dude, take the shit. Take the stuff. It was like, it was such a mess. But again, I was in that weird, it was my first, she was the second girl I actually dated after Georgetta. And first one was a mess, the one that had me going to church.
Right.
That was a disaster. And then Teresa was even worse, because Teresa was like, she was so much younger than me. And I really realized super quick. And that's why I don't understand how you can do what you do, because she was 13 years younger than me. And it took me about a day to realize that other than fucking, I had nothing in common with this one at all. I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to talk about what she was interested in. I had no interest, zero interest the same. And I was like, this is just like my fucking marriage.
Right.
I have zero interest other than drinking. And she liked to drink. I will say she did like to drink. But that's all we did. Drink and drink. and then, we'd wake up. I had to work. I'd be trying to work. And she'd be like, let's go do something. I'm bored. Because she didn't have a fucking job.
Yeah, of course.
And it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I was like, look, I got to fucking work.
Yeah, I got to make some money here.
And she'd be like, well, when are you going to be done? And I, you know how I work. There is no, well, it's 5 o'clock, toot, toot, whistle blew, time to leave. That shit ain't happening with me. With me, it could be 5 o'clock. It could be 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. It could be 3 days from now. There's no telling how long I'm going to work. That didn't go well. It was a mess. And that's really kind of when I was like, you know what? None of this is any good. and every time I tried to do something, it just kept getting worse and worse. The fucking thing with Amy. I thought I was in love with Amy. I really thought Amy was gonna be somebody I was gonna be.
She's gonna be the one.
I thought she was. I actually truly thought I was gonna get into a longer. I wasn't gonna get married, and I knew that. I had told her from day one that I told her from day one, if you have any thoughts of that at all, then tell me now, and we won't even get started in this, because I will not marry you. No matter what, I'm not doing that.
Right.
But she came here, and I mean, dude, when she was here, I don't think I've had a more fun time with a chick ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I love my mom, but your mom showed me a more fun time.
Dude, I'm telling you, I had so much fun with her. We were just having a lot of fun, a lot of partying.
Carefree fun.
It was great. And I mean, when she went back to Florida, and I was flying out to Florida like a month later, like I had tickets and everything to go and fly out to Florida, and it just went to shit in a mega hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I'm done with this. I'm not trying to be in any relationship anymore. It's all fucking bad. It's all bad. And I honestly, truthfully believe that I do not believe for a minute that I could be in a good relationship now. I don't think so. I think I'm too selfish now. I think being single has really gotten me to a point where I would never be willing to compromise on anything. And that automatically means that the relationship's going to fail. You know, if you know that you won't compromise, then you might as well not even start a relationship. No,
I agree.
you know, I mean, that's kind of where I got to. Was I know I'm not willing to compromise not one fucking thing. I'm not willing to compromise giving up my vaginitarian hat. I'm not doing it. Fuck you. You know, and if I'm not willing to give up a stupid hat to be in a relationship, I'm certainly not going to be in that relationship long.
Right.
And it's like, fuck it. It's not worth it anymore. It's dumb. Relationships are stupid.
I'm doing my part.
You're right, Ant.
I had to laugh about him. He was talking about, you know, after he got out of his marriage with his first wife or his only wife.
Yeah.
And how she hired that Dominic Barbara for her attorney. Mm-hmm. And he married his wife while he was, as he calls it, a tin knocker.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Somebody who puts in HVAC systems and things. And then he became a radio star.
Right.
She got, you know, quite a chunk of change when he divorced her, you know, after 9 years. And most of those years were spent when he was, you know, just a laborer.
Right.
But she got the big money, even though he got the big money like in the last year of their marriage.
Right. Yeah. And she got like future. Didn't she end up taking him back to court for?
Yeah. Future earnings.
Like when he landed at XM, then she took him back to court to get more money.
Right.
That's fucking nuts. Why would she be worth more
checks, motherfucker?
Why would she be worth more money after they're broke up because he got a new job?
Right.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Courts are and again, this is why never again. I would never sign that contract again. To me, and this is a definite change. When I got married the first time, no thoughts of that kind of shit.
Yeah, why would you think that way?
No thoughts at all of ridiculous contract, marriage, giving up half my shit. It's just like, we're going to be fucking perfect forever. Now, I could not walk into that fucking room with like, let me read the fine print here. Let me see exactly what I'm fucking volunteering to give you now. It's fucking stupid. It's the dumbest contract of all the contracts. No, we can't. Dude, is there a worse legal contract than a marriage? Honestly. You know, I hear the gay guys that they want to have gay marriage and everything. My only question is why? Be happy that you can fuck and walk away. You can live with each other forever. How many gay couples lived with each other forever, kept it on the down low, and just didn't have a problem? Can you imagine that if you had been living on the down low as a gay guy for like 15 years, and then you get married, and then you fucking split up, and that guy takes half your shit? I would bet it's worse if it's guy to guy. Wouldn't you think?
You would think.
You would think it'd be worse, because at least if it's guy to girl, you can't really punch the girl. But you could fight the guy, and then you lose even more money if you fight the guy. It would just be, I don't know. There's something about that, you know, it just marriage is just bad. I can't see how anybody wants to do that. Yes. Right, John. Big mistake. Don's biggest mistake, trying to say he's sorry.
Never apologize.
Never apologize.
Just walk away.
Yeah. They should change the lyric to "I'll never say I'm sorry."
I'll never say I'm sorry.
I'll just walk away. Change it to be like the new meaning of the older version of Don. It's like, just beat it, you bitch.
Right. Just walk away. I'll never say I'm sorry.
Just walk away.
That's what I've always done.
Yeah, I know. You're smarter than me.
I've always just walked away. It's just like no drama, no fighting, no anger, no, it's just like I just walk away. You'll never see or hear from me ever again.
Well, I walked away 23 years later when I was told to.
I sat there and listened to Opie and Anthony rather, and Anthony's brother Joe was talking about his divorce or breaking up with his chick,
right?
And how his chick basically smacked herself in the face with a frying pan and called the cops and said he beat her up.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
And he, he was a gun owner and, he had permits and all that shit, like you and I.
Yeah.
And they took his guns away and he went to jail and all this. And he had to fight to get all that shit back because she fucking lied. And she banged herself in the face with a frying pan and said that he did it.
Yeah.
And he had to prove that he didn't do it.
And how do you prove that you didn't do
what he did, and Anthony told the story that Joe's ex-wife was confiding in the neighbor
and
basically Joe had to convince the neighbor to wear a wire.
Wow.
Where she basically admitted that she banged herself in the face with a frying pan and blamed it on him. But what if he wasn't able to convince the neighbor to do that?
Yeah, he would have just been fucked.
That's my point.
Yeah, I don't, dude. It's, people can say what they want about me when I start talking about how the best way to go is just to start fucking whores and whatever. I'm telling you, that is the best way is to fucking buy a real doll.
Well, see, here's the thing, and I'm just going to make a personal comparison to that story.
Mm-hmm.
When I was telling the story about 2 years ago about the Pittsburgh girl, and how she caused me such a issue that I drove all the way home from Pittsburgh and just didn't say a word and drove her home and dropped her off, and that was the end of it. And how could you do that, man? You should have just dropped her off on the side of the road and fucked that chick and blah blah blah, and and then I think about, Anthony's story about his brother Joe, how his chick banged herself in the face with a frying pan and shit like that. It's just like, you know what? I don't need this. Right. I'll suffer the 6 hours, get her home safely, drop her ass off, be done with it, and not have that issue where it's just like, well, he did this to me.
But again, you always keep one foot on the floor.
I do.
That's what I'm saying. If you're emotional, can't do it.
Yeah.
The emotional guy that I am would have been I would have got her home, but I would have been, if I didn't throw her out of the car, which I might have done, I probably would have done that. But if I decided to drive her home anyway, because I didn't want to strand her, it would have been verbal abuse like no one's business for 6 fucking hours.
Yeah, see? And I drove in complete silence.
No, I couldn't do that. I would be like, every other second, you are a fucking cunt. I can't wait to fucking get you, to drop you off and never fucking hear your cunt mouth again. I can't wait.
Right.
My life will be better without your cunt face in it.
Right.
I would just drive her I would drill and drill and drill until she was crying for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because that's me. I would be fucking vengeful and hateful. But again, I ride with both feet all the way in. If you hurt me, you might as well kill me, because it's gonna come back at you 20-fold. Where you're just like, I mean, with Pittsburgh girl, you never looked back.
No.
Now, not one time did I ever hear you fucking, you know, and we've talked about other girls that you've broken up with or whatever, and you bring them up from time to time.
Sure.
That one, how long has it been now? 3 years, 4 years?
It's been over 3 years.
I've never heard you one time other than when we were talking about her here on the show, like personal conversations. I've never heard you say, you know, I really wonder what she's doing.
Nope. Don't
You
care.
don't give a fuck. She's dead to you.
Yeah, because she disparaged me. She disparaged the city that I love. She destroyed everything that I loved about, you know, one of my passions and one of my favorite things in life, and she just destroyed it. And it was just like, you know what? You shit on everything that I love in life, and you know, you don't deserve a second thought in my head.
And you don't give it to her.
Nope.
Yeah, she was a fucking case.
You know, and it's no different than the ones that have passed through the gates here who have shit on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is something that you and I have built over 25 years, and you shit on my show, you're done. You're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing this before I met you, and I'm doing this long after you're gone. So
exactly.
You shit on my show and what I do and my friendships and, you know, whatever it is that I've developed, you know, you're not greater than that. So you're out of here.
Yeah, dude. And that has caused me the same problems as you. It obviously caused me mega problems with Georgetta, but it caused me, I mean, dude, we've read the texts. We've read the texts that I've gotten from different people that I've dated.
Yeah.
They're like, that show is fucking awful and you're just an asshole. And, okay. I told you up front. That's always my deal. It's like, well, I told you up front. This is what I do. I always tell them too. I'm like, it's like a shock jock thing. And they all come back with like Howard Stern. I'm like, no, not like Howard Stern. like the filthiest comic you've ever heard.
Right.
And they're just like, oh, it can't be that silly. Oh, I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure. And then they hear it and they're like, oh, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah. And you know, again, I'm listening to these segments and then I hear Anthony go, well, Mom, if you're listening to this segment, turn the show.
Yeah.
Turn it off. Don't listen because I'm going to talk about something I know you hate. And then he talks about, you know, I saw my mom the other day and she said, I was listening to you guys the other day and I had to turn the show on. He goes, you're not our demographic. Don't listen.
Exactly.
You know,
I've had to have that conversation with my mom several times where she'll like tune in, or we have one mutual friend, her and I,
right,
that is a fan of the CMS.
Okay.
And he worked with her. He's younger. He's like my age.
Okay.
But he worked with her, so they're friends as well.
All right.
They're friends from work. And every once in a while, he'll share something on his Facebook from the CMS. And it'll be filthy. And my mom will listen to it. She'll be like, oh, let me see what's going on. And then she'll hear me talking about, you know, licking pussy or some shit. And she'll just be like horrified. And she'll say to me, she'll be like, I heard this and you were really, and I'm like, Mom,
this is what I do.
And I've told her, I'm like, Mom, this is not for you. This is going to make you dislike your son.
And why do you have to talk that way?
Yeah, well, she doesn't do that. She knows I won't listen to that.
Yeah, I know that. But you know what that reminds me of?
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of Tony Soprano's mother. It's like, you know, I don't like that kind of talk.
Exactly. I'm the only one in this family that doesn't use those kind of words.
Yeah. You know, I don't like that kind of talk.
I don't like that talk. Dude, it's one of the most upset my mom's ever been with me was I told her, you know, I mean, you've been here for a book release party.
Yes.
And my mom is very proud of me when I put these books out.
Why not? Sure. You make accomplishments, you make achievements, you know.
Yeah, and she'll come to the parties, even though they're fucking crazy parties. She'll come and watch me lose my fucking shit, and I don't tone it down because my mom's here.
Right.
You know, I'm Chris 1,000% of the time. But with and other things, I told her in advance. I said, Mom, this is not the book for you. This is a book I do not want you to read. And she was like, oh, no, I'm going to read. I was like, Mom, I'm telling you, don't read this book. You will find it to be disgusting that this is your son. And she's like, no. And then she asked me for a book and I wouldn't give her a book. I told her no. I said, if you're going to read it, you're going to have to buy it because I'm not giving you a book. And she never bought it. And I don't think she read it, but she was so upset with me that I actually put my foot down and said, I don't want you to share in this accomplishment with me. But, I mean, dude, you've read that book or pieces of it. It's like, it's not for your mom.
No, it's not your demographic.
My mom does not need to read a story about me getting jerked off by a hooker and coming on her arm.
Oh, God, that's great.
You're right, Steven. It is great. It was a great moment in my life. Unfortunately, some moments in my life are not meant to be shared with mom.
Right.
It was a fun time.
Sure.
But I have a lot of fun moments in my life that weren't meant to be shared with my mom.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
That's right, Steve Dave.
You tell him.
But yeah, she was absolutely deflated when I said to her, I don't want you to read this book.
I'm just sparing your feelings, Mom.
Yeah. And I am, because she would be disappointed. I know it. And she's pretty modern. I don't think she's a prude at all, but still, me telling stories about fucking hookers and jizzing on their arm in the street and stuff, she's going to be horrified by this stuff. Or the story about the bachelor party.
Right.
Where I was banging the hookers, then I went back and banged the fucking fiance. It's like my mom doesn't need to read those. She doesn't need to know that story. It's not one that I sit around at Thanksgiving and say, Mom, you got to hear about this.
Right.
It's just not something I'd share with her. It's like, come on. But yeah, she was definitely devastated.
Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Yep. I pretty much told my mom and dad everything.
Everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
What do you mean pretty
And
much?
I basically have. Basically, when I was...
You told her you sucked a cock?
Yep.
Yep.
What'd she say? So did I?
No, she said, how do you think you were born?
Tim, if I stuck to just sucking cock, you wouldn't be here to tell your story.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, and my wife definitely knows everything. She knew everything from before we even got married. And that was one thing that you guys were talking about marriage before and crazy things. I must be delusional, right? I must be absolutely delusional, because I did actually want to present the other side of it.
Okay.
Because I am, and I'm not even kidding, and my wife's not even here to hear this, but I'm so delusionally happy. It is insane. We're renewing our vows next year. We've been married for 20 years next year.
So why do you need to renew your vows? Why do you need to prove to her again that you're still in love with her?
We don't need to prove anything. We just want to reaffirm our commitment.
But you don't. You want to do it, but you have no real reason that you need to do it.
I just want to do it because it's romantic.
It's romantic.
We have that. I mean, come on. Let's face it. I'm no oil painter, right? You've seen pictures of me that have scared small children.
Yeah.
And my wife's not a model either.
What?
We are blissfully happy. Like it was. I'll tell you the truth, dude. I'll tell you the truth. For the first 10 years, it was really hard. It was really, really hard.
What was really hard, Tim?
Well, no, I'm not even being serious. I'm not even joking. Like, we were struggling with mental illness and things like that, and things we didn't even know we were struggling with.
10 years.
And 10 years.
Wouldn't you have cut some of that struggle off if you'd have cut it off at like 5 years, though?
Well, this is sometimes what love is, right?
You pain Tim with your questioning, Chris.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what here's what it is, Tim. For those 10 years, and I'm happy that you and your dude, girl, whatever, are happy. But here's the thing. When it's bad, it becomes normal. And you start accepting the bad as normal. And it sounds like you did that for 10 years. Sounds like you did that for 10 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a point where I was afraid of my wife. Yep. There was a point where, she wasn't. Man, it took. I'm gonna be real here. It took 5 years of counselling. It took 5 years of counselling, and it took Lucia getting treatment for mental illness, and it took.
Mental illness.
Dude. I thought in 2010, 2011, I thought my whole world was falling apart. It was brutal. It was brutal, right? And there were, when we discovered there was mental illness, and I had mental illness problems too, because I was in such a funk, such a depression, and I know that you understand what depression is, Chris.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Sure.
And such a funk that I wanted to go and jump off a bridge.
What was it? Was it because Motley Crue announced that they were retiring? That was 2011. Is that part of it?
No, stuff Motley Crue. No, I'm being real here. I'm just trying to...
Dude, I get it. I get it. My point is, here's my point, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form just demeaning the fact that you found your way and everything's good. Here's my point. If tomorrow your chick came home and said, "Fuck you, I'm out of here," would you be willing to do this same fucking 10-year build again?
Yes.
Oh, you're insane.
That was a long pause, Tim.
Tim, there's still some mental illness going on. Jesus Christ. Why would you waste 10 more years of your life?
Well, because
what? Why would you? How old are you, Tim? How old are you right now?
40.
How old?
48.
48.
So you would be willing to go until you're 60 years old before you could be happy?
Oh, no. I thought you... No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if your chick left, you had to start over. And it was bad like it was the first 10 years of your current marriage. Would you stick around?
No.
All right, there you go.
No, but I thought you meant... Sorry, I thought you meant like if something... I understood what you said, but I thought you meant if something happened, like somebody died or... No. But would I be willing to get married again? No, I wouldn't, because it nearly...
There you go. You're making my point. You're making my point, Tim. It's like you did the struggle. I get it. I get what you're saying. You did the struggle, so you're good now, and God hopes that it stays that way. But if it doesn't, you're fucking donezo. You're out.
Well, the thing, look, the thing is, no. I'm just trying to present the other side of the argument.
And we're letting you talk, Tim. Go ahead.
Would I go through this again No, because it nearly destroyed me. Because we were dealing with something and we didn't realise what we were dealing with. It's completely different. See, what I went through is completely different because we were dealing with a medical issue that neither one of us realised. We just thought it was depression. We didn't know. I'm not a doctor, dude. I don't know. My wife is my hero, right?
Hero.
Because yeah, absolutely. Because once she realised, yeah, I'm sick. She wasn't well, right? Once she realised I'm not well, she's like, good. Now I can do something about it, and she has. And she's fantastic, and she's working, and she's amazing, right? But if it's just a normal relationship, and the girl's just crazy.
I don't know, Tim. Gender reassignment surgery is a mental illness.
So brutal, but so good.
Jeez.
Wow.
That was a little much for me.
That made me so happy.
Wow.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right.
2-hour segment. Jesus.
I know. Oh, we get on these talking jags.
I know.
This is fun.
Oh, that's funny.
It is funny. All right. Well, we want to thank our friends from the Leviathan Project.
Yes.
Tommy Crash and
Matt Nardo.
Yeah, Matt Nardo for calling in and being part of the show.
Sure.
Joe, Google them, Leviathan Project, and go buy their new CD and give them some support and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the replay of the show will be up in segments later this week. So if you missed anything from tonight, Chris will have that all up and ready to go. And
yes, sir.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll let you pick a departing song and take us out of the evening.
All right. I am going to pick from Dehumanizer, because we were talking about that earlier in the chat. I want to hear Too Late from Black Sabbath.
All right. Look at that. Some classic Dio Sabbath, man.
Exactly.
So, anyway, it's been a fun show. Just kind of like cleansing the palate, as it were. Just kind of getting that shit off your chest.
It was a Seinfeld show tonight. We really didn't talk about anything.
Not really, but it was fun. It was just kind of like get a lot of shit off your chest. But, man, I'm telling you, if you like this show and you've never checked out the O&A show, there's just so many great compilations on YouTube. Just go look it up. I mean, you will get a laugh. If you like what we do here, you will love that kind of stuff. It was just out of control.
It is. Totally.
And I've been binging on it for a couple of weeks now and just laughing my ass off.
It's good stuff.
It is. It's really funny stuff. So go check that out as well as our show. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Saturday and we'll do things all over again. And what was the name of the tune you wanted to hear?
What was it? Shit, now I forgot. God damn it.
From Dehumanizer?
Yeah, it's like read me tracks like 6, 7, 8.
What are we? Sins of Failure, Too Late, I, Buried Alive, Time Machine.
Too Late.
Yep. All right, and don't forget to turn your clocks back either.
Yeah, if you're a savage that has a clock that needs to be turned back, I think all of mine just do it by themselves. But
right, because you're so technologically advanced.
You're damn right I am.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Turn your clocks back 1 hour. Here's Black Sabbath from the Dehumanizer release. This is Too Late. So until next Saturday night, this is Neeley along with my very good friend,
Chris Hagan.
We're gone.
Bye, kids.
Hello, this is Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neeley and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job!